everybody, and welcome back to the Garden of Sports.
What, have you been watching The Office?
Maybe.
It's King!
Neither here nor there.
Oh my gosh.
We're your hosts, as always, Zach and Jake Gardner, bringing you what you want and the latest fantasy hockey news. That's right. We're back better and fresher than ever after a well-deserved week off to rest the old bones. And we have Hockey Week 18 prep coming at you live. We have surprises and storylines of the week, injury news, slump busters, new segment, buy low and sell high trades, and of course, scoop 'em up. Wow, Jake, that sure sounds like a lot of good information.
Yeah, I'm pretty freaking pumped. And I want to go over a couple players with you, but
yeah,
let's get in there.
Yeah, so buckle up and enjoy this week's hockey installment. Surprises of the week.
Oh my god.
So,
we'll soundbite soon.
As that well-eloquated announcer just said, we're going to break into surprises here. Thank you, Mr. Announcer.
Oh my god.
Started off with rookie on the Minnesota Wild, Matt Boldy. They brought him up a few weeks ago, and he's been really on a tear this week. Kind of a slower week than his first week or two, where he came kind of out of the gate, guns blazing. But he still had almost 20 fantasy points this week. He had 3 goals and 1 assist in 3 games. Over the last few weeks, the rookie's been lights out, like I said at the beginning. But he's starting to cool off a little bit, but he's still getting good ice time. Still playing on a good line as of right now, so I'd say if you picked him up, he's still worth holding for the time being because he still has a very good average and he still did good this week, so I wouldn't be ready to drop him unless there's another similar type player to pick up, because he's definitely got a lot of flash to his game, so that can be a good little add heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And then another surprise, Jeff Skinner.
Mr. Skinner.
So almost.
We'll have to get that soundbite from Hot Fuzz.
Yes. So he had 24.75 fantasy points in my league this week. That's he was, I think, because he's not owned in our league, so I put it on with all the waiver wire players and the owned players combined, and he still was in the top 5 of everybody. He had 4 goals and 3 assists in 4 games. He's definitely looking like he's finding that scoring touch that he had a few years ago. He just keeps lighting the lamp, so get him in your lineups while he's hot. You might as well.
The lamps. All right.
And then we've mentioned this guy a lot over this year. Robert Thomas. Had another just great week, and he still is under 20% owned, and I don't know what it's going to take to get this guy rostered. I mean, he's almost a point-per-game player, and he's barely owned in any leagues. It's kind of ridiculous. Nobody picks him up in our league, so I always pick him up as a streamer, and I always get a point or two out of it. So, 20.25 fantasy points this week in our league. 2 goals, 4 assists in 3 games. That's... he's 2 points per game this week. He's looking great on the top line right now, playing with Tarasenko. I think what did I read? He's playing with Tarasenko and Buchnevich, and the 3 of them are just going off over the last couple weeks that they've been playing together. He had maybe his best overall week of the season this last week, because I think one of the reasons he wasn't super high owned is because he was only getting assists, he wasn't scoring goals. But he did score 2 goals over this last week, which is 75% of his goals scored this week. So that definitely added up to him having more points. So if he's going to start scoring, being set up by Buchnevich, I'm going to get all in on this Robert Thomas action. I think another reason that he isn't high owned is because he doesn't shoot the puck a lot. I think he's like at one shot or just a little under one shot per game, like overall. Like he just doesn't shoot the puck. He's just a passer. But if he's going to start scoring playing on this line now, I mean, this is a guy that we should be picking up, and he should definitely at least get up to 50% owned over the next couple of weeks. And no, I did not add him yet. I was going to add him yesterday, but I'm out of moves for the week, so I got to wait till the games start today to add anybody. So
well, thanks for letting me know, dude.
Go ahead, dude. I'm giving out free advice here.
Yeah, we are. That's our job.
It's our job, yeah. And then lastly, on surprises of the week, Tage Thompson. I think he's a second-year guy or third-year guy on Buffalo. He went off this week with 25.25 fantasy points in our league. He had 4 goals in 3 games. He continues his breakout season similarly to Robert Thomas, way under the radar. He's only 25% owned. He should definitely be added in most leagues because him and Jeff Skinner, I think, are the 2 leading scorers on Buffalo, and he's averaging 3. I think I just looked at him today. He's averaging like 3.5 points or 3.7 in our league. Okay. He's only 25% owned. Like he's doing great, having a great year. He is owned in our league, but only 25% owned in general. That's definitely worth a go and look and scoop him up if he's out there, guys. This is great advice that I'm giving here.
Okay.
So yeah, if you don't have any more surprises, Jake, anything surprise you at all this week? Even if it's not hockey related, any surprises in the world of Jake?
Just that you're beating me this week, but
why is that a surprise, mister?
Well, just by this much, it's like a big gap. So
it's only 50. You can overcome that. If I only score like 5 points today, I think you have a chance.
You shut the hell up. All right.
You have a chance. You have a chance.
No, but I am happy with. I think Jake Ottinger is my surprise. He just had.
That's okay, dude. This is always what happens. I'll beat you in the regular season, and then you'll spank me in the championship. That's what
right.
That's what I'm used to.
I'm just more clutch, but yeah. For me, Jake Ottinger, the Dallas young goalie, I think he's taken over as the starter. And this is kind of 2-week news, but we took a break week last week for you guys who knew that. He would have been a key grab last week, and now he's had an even better week so far. 12.5 points and 13.5 in the last 2 games. One was against Colorado, so... Yeah,
going off. And then the other one was against Chicago. I was actually watching that game this week.
Mm-hmm. So how did he look?
Dude, it was a goal... It was a goaltender match between him and Marc-Andre Fleury, like which one was going to blink first. Both teams were getting so many shots on goal. Like it was a pure defensive goaltending game. It ended up Dallas ended up winning 1-0 in a shootout. So like there was no scoring at all for this game. Both goalies looked amazing.
Okay.
It was very frustrating because the Blackhawks had so many good scoring chances, but Ottinger was giving up nothing, dude. He looked great. Like he's their goalie for sure. He's arrived. Like people thought was gonna be happening sooner than later. Mm-hmm. He's their goalie. He looks great.
And I guess just speaking of goalies, Mike Smith is back and he looks good. So if somebody dropped him in your league, that's another grab.
Yeah,
he's still kind of higher owned, but if he's available,
Yeah, we'll bring him up again and.
Yeah, all right, but that's it for me.
All right. So we're gonna seamlessly transition here over to storylines. So I'm going to start off with kind of like the big news. We have Jack Eichel back playing for the Golden Knights. Looks like his surgery went well. He's back playing games. He's played 2 games this week. This has the chance to be a league-winning player, similarly to Evander Kane. If you picked him up off of waivers, or if you held him on an IR spot all season, he's finally going to give you something. He has just 1 assist in 2 games, but obviously after such a surgery like that, he's going to need a couple weeks to get his skates under him. I think he's going to be a great player here down the stretch.
For sure. Yeah, I think he was pretty highly owned, but people were holding him, right?
Yeah, people were holding him. He was on a few waiver wires out there. I did see some leagues where he was available, so
Gotcha.
The Toronto, and then we have a trade. One a little bit before the deadline here. Kind of the first trade so far this season. The Toronto Maple Leafs acquired Ryan Dzingel and Ilya Lyabushkin from the Arizona Coyotes for Nick Ritchie and a conditional pick, a 2023 third-round pick, or a 2025 second-round pick. It's probably depending on how Dzingel does. Like, if he does really good, they're going to get a second-round pick. If he kind of does how he's been doing the last couple of years, they'll get a third-round pick. So, we're just... it might be also Stanley Cup-oriented. Like, if they win the Stanley Cup, they'll get a 2023 third-round pick. And if they win the Cup, they'll probably get the second-round pick. Something like that. A lot of the trades before the playoffs are based on how far the team makes it with the player in the playoffs, like as to what kind of pick they get.
Gotcha.
Is there? So yeah, Ryan.
Is there like a lot more trades on the horizon? Or
there's gonna be for sure. Like there's a ton of rumors that oh God, what the heck's his name on Dallas? John Klingberg. There's a lot of rumors that he's going to get traded, but I don't know so much anymore though, because Dallas is starting to squeak their way back into the playoff hunt, so they might not want to get rid of Klingberg. But there's been a lot of rumors about him getting traded, and then there's a ton of smoke. I think it's going to happen. It's just a matter of working out the trade because it'll be a huge trade. Some contending team is going to get Jacob Chikrin. And that's gonna be a big blockbuster move because that's the number one defenseman that's gonna be going to a team that already probably has good defensemen. So that's gonna be a crazy move.
Well, for fantasy, will he still be good then?
It'll definitely be good because he's gonna be on a team with good players on it, which he does not have right now. He's the headline. If you go to watch Arizona games, there's nobody to pass to. Everybody that he was passing to on the power play last season that was getting him a bunch of assists, they traded all those guys over the offseason. He's playing with a bunch of young guys that he's never really played with. Like it's a crime. He's just wasting away his talent on this team right now.
And they said they're going to trade him, or?
Yeah, there's definitely going to be traded. They just haven't gotten the offer that they're looking for, which when it gets closer to the deadline, they'll start getting better offers. That's just, teams right now are just kind of starting the process.
Yeah.
And as it gets closer to the deadline, they'll be making more serious offers. That's just how it always works.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then some other news here. Tuukka Rask retired. This was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
This was definitely coming for sure. I mean, he over the last few seasons, he's just had so many injuries. It's just a lot to deal with. I think he just got tired of always rehabbing. He's just realized he's not his younger self that can just heal real quick, and he just couldn't stay on the ice, and I think he's just had enough of it, which, makes perfect sense.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the Edmonton Oilers fired head coach Dave Tippett. Definitely not surprising to me, at least. That team with that amount of talent that they have on it, they should not be fighting for a playoff spot. They should be leading the conference. It's ridiculous how good of a team they have, and they're not in a playoff spot right now. Sometimes I can't wrap my head around it. Coaching does matter. I think it really does, because that team with two of the best players in the league on that one team, it's crazy that they aren't always leading the conference.
Mm-hmm.
So a change was definitely on the horizon. I think it's good that they made it, and they're going to get somebody in there that can maybe do something with having two of the best players in the NHL on your team.
Yeah, for sure.
And then lastly, Sidney Crosby scores his 500th goal. Woo! So yeah, we're
Are
breaking...
you not a fan? Are you?
No,
not
I like Sidney
okay.
Crosby. He's a good player. It's just
I remember you used to be kind of a hater when you thought Taves was on his level.
Yeah, I did.
You were a hater. A lot of people used to think Taves was in the debate for a top player because he had the 3 chips.
Yeah, because we were talk to me when Sidney Crosby has 3 Stanley Cups, and then now he has 3 Stanley Cups. So
yeah.
there's
no really better.
There's no real arguments anymore.
No.
And he also did win the Conn Smythe Trophy too, which is the playoff MVP trophy, like Taves won. So they literally have all the same hardware, and it's not a. There's no arguments anymore for that.
No,
the only thing that Hawks fans were holding on to was the championships. So,
and like Taves used to be like that hard grinder.
And when the Hawks were. When Taves and Kane were in their prime and they were like always in the playoffs and always in the Stanley Cup race with the Penguins, of course both fan bases did not like each other. So that's just now I don't really care because there's no rivalry. The Penguins are so much better than the Hawks. There's nothing to even bicker about anymore, really. But we're breaking news here on this podcast. Sidney Crosby's pretty good. So, you heard it here first, everybody.
He can toss the frozen biscuit around.
Yeah, boy.
Hit that twine.
He gave it a little tickle.
Yeah, top cheddar.
So
all right, dude, just run through this injury news.
Now we're going to break into the best part that everyone fast forwards to this section every week, injuries.
Oh, my God.
So, it doesn't actually seem to be a lot of note injuries, but I'm just gonna look down this list here, give a few guys that I think are worth mentioning. Jonathan Taves, concussion. He's back on injured reserve. Looks like he's I mean he was on injured reserve a few weeks ago, then he was listed last week as day-to-day. Looked like he was going to come back, and now he's back on injured reserve, so obviously he had some kind of something didn't go quite right there. And who knows when he's going to be back now, if he's going to be back. Kevin Lincolnin, backup goalie, good young goalie for the Hawks. With his broken hand, he's going to begin facing shots next week and could return before the end of February. And be monitoring Kevin Lincolnin, too, because there's a lot of smoke also about Marc-Andre Fleury getting traded by the trade deadline.
Wow, so we made that huge move for him and we're giving up? We're not even giving it a shot next year?
There's talk that I don't think they were really going to consider it, but Vegas, they just lost. Oh my God, who's the goalie on Vegas?
It's Robin Leonard. You talk about Robin Leonard.
Yeah, Robin Leonard. They're talking that he has like a broken torn labrum. So
they haven't said that yet.
They haven't said it yet. There's rumors though that that's what it is, and he's going to be missing a bit of time. And they have a good backup in Laurent Brossoit, but there's concern that Brossoit might not be able to handle a full workload. So they're talking that they're going to trade back for, like, they're going to get Andre Fleury back.
So they're going to make a hell of an offer then, right?
They're going to make a good offer because Fleury is one of the top goalies again this year. Like, he's a top.
Why would we get rid of him, though?
Well, they'd probably get a second or first round pick back, which they gave up. So it would be kind of weird, but it could happen.
Yeah, dude, we brought him back out of retirement. We said, bro, we need you. We're going to go for it. And he's like, okay, fine. You remember he was going to retire after that trade?
Yeah.
Now they're just going to toss him around again? Jesus.
That's hockey for you.
That's pro sports.
Pro sports in general, yeah.
I did not give a fuck.
But, and then the Colorado Avalanche, Bowen Byram, still out with his concussion. He's been out months with this thing. I don't know when he's going to come back, but he just cannot seem to overcome this most recent concussion that he's had. And then Columbus Blue Jackets goalie Jonas Korpisalo day to day. And then not a ton of injuries this week, which I guess is kind of good. Jonathan Drewen on the Montreal Canadiens was ruled out indefinitely back in January. He's dealing with a wrist injury. They don't know if he's going to make it back or not. He always injures that freaking wrist, man. It never fails.
The same one, or is it?
Yeah, this guy, man. He weak wrists, I guess. I don't know. And then New Jersey Devils, Jesper Bratt, out.
Oof.
Upper body injuries, like one of their best players the last few weeks. That's kind of a big blow. And then Dougie Hamilton, starting to practice with the team, but he's recovering from that broken jaw injury, and I think they're waiting until he's exactly 100% to bring him back, which, makes sense because he's possibly their best player when he's on the ice. And then goalie Mackenzie Blackwood, placed on injured reserve, has a heel injury. No news on when he's going to be back, which kind of sucks because he was actually playing pretty good before he had this injury, and he's just another guy that just never fails. He's going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the New York Islanders, goalie Semyon Varlamov, still in the NHL's COVID-19 protocol, but has returned to the team, so maybe he's getting over it and he'll be back like this week. And then the New York Rangers, Capo Caco, will miss at least another month of action.
Is he fantasy relevant?
Yeah, he's their first round pick from 2 years ago. He's a young up and coming player. He's not great right now, but he's a good name. Ottawa Senators defenseman Thomas Chabat, their best player, is expected to play Tuesday against Minnesota. That'll be good to get him back for sure. Oh my gosh, look at the Flyers. Okay, so Philadelphia Flyers, Joel Farabee is making progress in his recovery, could return February 26th against the Capitals, so keep that in the back of your minds. Maybe get Farabee back in your lineups this week. That's great. Rasmus Ristolainen, upper body, will not participate in Thursday's game against Washington. Kevin Hayes will hold off on a decision regarding another surgery until March 1st. That's not looking good.
Mm.
And then on the San Jose Sharks, Erik Karlsson, still on injured reserve. No news on him. And then the Seattle Kraken, Jaden Schwartz, upper body, has been designated for injured reserve. Now, and he's still on it. No new news on him. Brandon Tanev, well, he had that ACL surgery. He's missing the rest of the season. That kind of sucks. He was having a great year once again. And then the Washington Capitals, Vitek Vanacek, will not participate in Thursday's game against Philadelphia. He's got an upper body injury that he's dealing with. And TJ Oshie will not be joining the upcoming road trip. And then on the Winnipeg Jets, Andrew Kopp, upper body injuries day to day, will not play Saturday against visiting Edmonton. Kind of one of their leading scorers this year, kind of out of nowhere. Kopp is having like a breakout year, so it kind of sucks that he's had to miss some time. Maybe he'll get back here quick. And that's all your injuries, everybody.
Yeah, and I wanted to hit a storyline real quick.
Yeah.
It looks like the Oilers are going to make the playoffs, doesn't it?
Looks like the Oilers are what?
Going to make the playoffs?
Yeah, they probably will, but the fact that they're not in it right now is just, I'm going to look at the standings here, but
they're third in the Pacific Division now.
Okay, so they've crawled back up. I know they were out of it a little while ago.
Yeah, I think I saw people were starting to put money on them, so
yeah.
I might join in there.
Yeah.
I mean, they have both old goalies playing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Evander Kane gave them some fuel.
Yep. Well, I don't know, dude. They gotta outpace the LA Kings and the Anaheim Ducks here. It's gonna be tough sledding.
Oh, are you being sarcastic or are you for real?
I'm being sarcastic.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I think they're in for sure. I think they could definitely pass the Knights.
They're gonna make it, but yeah, they should be like way better than they are with the talent they got. I still think, but
who's gonna stop them in that conference? In the playoffs.
Well, no. Now that they're, they got a new coach. The Avalanche could definitely stop them.
That looks like their best team.
Yeah.
I'd have to say it's them. I mean, you told me the Flames are just a really good team. They don't have a true stud though.
Yeah.
Golden Knights just lost their goalie, like you said, so they're gonna fall.
Yeah.
The Blues haven't established a goalie, right? Just because your guy's doing so bad.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, no, the Blues do have a goalie. They got this Ville Husso, rookie goalie that is just playing insane.
Gotcha.
Doing how Binnington did when Binnington was a rookie and came out of nowhere.
That. Okay.
Yeah,
So
Ville Husso.
The Blues could be a contender then.
Yeah, and if Binnington can get his head out of his literal ass, I don't understand what's happening with him. He might get traded at the trade deadline. I mean, who knows?
Who?
I don't know, man, but maybe.
Wow.
I don't know.
After he won a chip, they're going to trade him?
Well, look at his numbers. They're terrible over the last month.
Wasn't that 2 years ago?
They won it in 2019, yeah.
Okay, wow. Okay, anyway.
But anyways, we'll break into slump busters.
Oh my god.
So yeah, we got some busted slumps this week, guys. We're started off with Elias Lindholm. Jake knows firsthand how good this guy's been doing this week. He's been in a bit of a slump over the last month plus, but blew the doors down this week with 8 points in 3 games. He's really humming right now, right, Jake? Isn't that true?
Yeah, he's going off. Just like Zach said, all his guys do well in the regular season, so we'll see how it goes during playoffs.
Hell yeah, boy. This is my best record though since I did win the championship, so I just wanna put that out there.
Weren't you the 1 seed last year?
Yeah, but I think I had 4 losses.
Okay.
Yeah. Moving on, Zach Hyman had maybe his best week of the season this week with 4 points in 3 games. He's starting to understand his role with the Oilers, and I think he's going to be this good from now on. He's starting to figure things out, put some things together. This is a guy that I was pretty high on at the beginning of the season. Took him more time than I thought to start to fit in with this team and with his new role. So, I think that this is how he's going to be from now on. And then Mark Scheifele, Jake understands how this guy's been doing good this week too. The dude is starting to put it together.
Oh my God.
On a tear this week with 5 points in 3 games, looking like he's definitely busted out of that little slumpy slump. And then Quinn Hughes, not so much a slump playing wise, but he's been on IR the last 3 weeks. And he came back this week with 4 points in 2 games. Looks like he's refreshed and going to be a great fantasy player down the stretch to help Zach win his second championship.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
And then Elias Pedersen. Finally, this guy is doing something. 5 points in 2 games this week. Looks like he will have a great second half and make for some happy fantasy owners who begrudgingly stuck with him.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, quite a bit of slump busters this week, huh, Jake?
Yeah, dude.
So now we'll break into some Bilo trades here. I got a couple guys to talk about. So first on Bilo, we're going to go with Marc-Andre Fleury, goaltender on the Blackhawks. I'm sure you all know that name. He's not like top 5 like he's been the last couple of years. So, he's top 15, which still is pretty good. But I still think this could be considered a buy low, especially if you think that there is a lot of smoke around him actually getting traded at the trade deadline, going to maybe a better team, that he'll get more wins and stuff. This is definitely a guy that I'd be interested in buying low on right now.
Okay.
And then Brock Besser. Vancouver is starting to turn it around altogether as a team, and Besser is going to be the one that most benefits from a better scheme, a better offense and everything. He's already looking a lot better since they made their coaching change like a month or 2 ago. I definitely think Besser is a guy that's going to have a really good second half. I'd be wanting to get him on my team sooner than later. And then similarly, Travis Konechny, I think that the Flyers are going to shake some things up at the trade deadline, and I think Konechny is going to benefit from some of the changes they might make, and I think he's going to get more ice time. I think he's just going to all around, they're going to shake some things up, maybe give him some better line mates or something. I don't know. There's going to be some things that happen that are going to benefit Konechny, and I think that he's going to have a good second half. And then anybody that you're thinking of, Jake?
Yeah, just Mike Smith. I think since he just came back, he had 2 okay games. I feel like you could get a starting goalie for cheap.
Yeah.
If you weren't able to like scoop him up,
send
over like a cheap offer. Like, I don't know. It depends on your situation, but another goalie that you know is mediocre but might not get as many wins as Mike Smith with his good team. Just a guy who's been going off recently. I would say send over. Maybe they'll take it so that they get something for him.
Yeah,
they might be worried about him re-injuring, but
yeah, I think that's a good one.
You're getting a guy who, I think he broke the top 10 last year.
He did. He was definitely.
He won't be able to finish with that this year since he was gone so much, but he'll be able to, like in the second half, he could be top 10.
He could give you top 10 numbers over the.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Second half. Yeah, exactly. I think that'd be a great move if you could pull that off. Yeah. And then we'll break into sell highs here. So I'm gonna start it off like I always do with sell high.
Oh my God.
With super high or nothing. With Devin Taves and Evander Kane, the usual suspects. Just like I've been saying, and much to Jake's chagrin, but I think it's poetry, but that's neither here nor there. I'm a poet, dude. But
he's still doing good. I don't know what
you mean. He's doing great. That's why I think you could sell super high and get something crazy, or you just hold on to them. But
I tried.
Nobody dangling these guys out there trying to get something good, something crazy. But nobody's
tried with
buying
Devin
it.
Taves. Nobody's buying.
Yeah. Well, everybody listens to our podcast, so that's why they don't want.
But I disagree with you. I think he's good. I did try to go and get like a super player.
Yeah, I offered Evander Kane some trades, and people didn't take that either. So.
Well, I would. What the hell?
I don't know, dude.
You didn't offer me a trade.
Well,
what an asshole!
I was thinking about it. I'm looking at it. I want it to be like a good trade. So I'm really.
Remember, I said Cirelli and Poink.
Yeah, I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
He just didn't want to do it. All right.
Time I go to, I want to make trades, and then when I go there to hit the request offer or accept offer button, I just always get cold feet. I'm like, oh nope, can't.
Damn.
But we can work on something over this week. We can talk some more. But also on sell high, Mark Scheifele, he's starting to break out of his slump, which is awesome. I think you could maybe use that to your benefit and try and get something out of that. What that may be, just depends on what you may need. Like if you need like a goalie or a defenseman or something, you could maybe dangle him out there for something like that. Or just hold on to him because historically he's a top 10 player at his position. So, he's always averaging over 4 points. So this is definitely the one year I finally got. I've wanted Mark Scheifele on my team like the last 4 years, and I've never been able to get him. And then the year that I do get him is like his biggest slump year he's ever had. So that's just my luck.
But now that he's back, you're going to sell him?
Yeah, just because he's been pretty frustrating for me, honestly, over this season. Even though my record is good, like I was able to overcome him not giving me much.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But he's just been more frustrating for me because I know how good he's been in other years, and I wanted that same production. And he's doing okay, but I know what he's capable of and what he's done for other people so that have had him. And finally he's looking like he's going to start giving me those numbers, but I don't know if I fully trust it because he did have like a 3-month slump. So,
yeah.
And then lastly on sell high, I think you could maybe try and get something from Damon Severson. He's been putting up great numbers as basically the number one defenseman on New Jersey. And he's been getting that top power play and top pairing spot because Dougie Hamilton's been injured. And Dougie Hamilton might be coming back within the next couple of weeks. I think right now is your chance to maybe off yourself with Damon Severson. Did I just say off yourself? What?
Yeah, just kill yourself.
Now's your chance to rid yourself of Damon Severson. Wow, we're gonna edit that out. My God.
Nah, don't edit it out. Keep it raw.
But yeah, now's your chance to rid yourself of Damon Severson. I think you could get something from him. He's been doing really good, and it's not like Dougie Hamilton's coming back tomorrow, so maybe somebody not paying too much attention would look at his numbers and be like, oh, yeah, that's a good defenseman, and you can get something. I'd just dangle him out there, see if anybody bites on it.
Okay.
Anybody you've been thinking about for sell high, Jake?
I was just looking over players right now. I didn't see any player you really missed. I mean, do you believe in Ottinger? Otherwise,
I do believe in Ottinger, but
okay.
I wouldn't be trying to trade him. I'd be wanting that. I'd be wanting a piece of that.
That's why I didn't. That's why I didn't put it out there.
Yeah.
What about Moritz Seider? Is that a really, really good
Apple
week?
Cider?
Yeah, is that a really good week?
I think you could. That's definitely something you could dangle out there. I know you like him. He's young. He's likable, but you could definitely dangle him out there. I think that'd be that's a good sell high for sure. Because he's a rookie. That's all unknowns,
Yeah, I was trying to trade him, and then people were scared of the rookie tag. So
yeah,
but I don't know. That's a possible one.
Yeah.
Would a buy low be Jordan Kyrou, since he's been pretty bad the past?
I was honestly debating whether to put him on buy low, but I think that he is a really good player. I think that I would want Jordan Kyrou on my team more than I would want to be trying to trade him. I don't know that you'd get great value for him because he still doesn't have that kind of name value just yet.
Yeah.
So I don't think people would.
He's just in a slump.
People would look at that and be like, "Oh, that's a throw-in," even though he's doing pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Just because no one really knows that name yet, he's like a year or two away from everybody knowing who that is. But yeah, stuff to think about. And then we'll wrap things up here with Scoop 'em Up. I got a couple guys, some similar names that we've mentioned before in here, some new names. So definitely Jeff Skinner. He just had a great week this week. Looks like he is settling into his top line role on Buffalo. He's playing great with Alex Tuck. And then Tage Thompson too on Buffalo. Definitely a guy you should be scooping up. Similarly to Jeff Skinner, just having a really good year. Guy that should be on a lot of rosters. And then Matt Boldy. We talked about him at the beginning of the episode, the rookie on Minnesota. Has had a great last 3 weeks since they brought him up. He's been playing really good hockey. Definitely want to get him on your teams. This could be a guy that could help you in a playoff run if he stays this hot.
Okay.
And then Robert Thomas. We've brought him up a lot on Scoop 'em Up. He should be a lot higher owned. He's almost a point per game player. Now he's on that first line with Tarasenko and Pavel Buchnevich, and the three of them are just clicking. And as long as that stays together, Thomas is going to be putting up points. So I definitely want a piece of that action. And then if you're looking for goalie help, I would consider picking up Laurent Brossoit. He's going to be getting, over the next few weeks at least, a lot of the starts against for Vegas because Robin Leonard is injured, as we mentioned before in the episode. This guy, he's a pretty capable goalie on a really good team. I think that Brossoit, for the time being, is definitely worth a scoop. Okay. And then if there's not a lot of good D available right now, so if you're just looking for something for some hits or some blocks or something, there's not a lot of defensemen that are scoring points available right now. But if you want to pick up Adam Larsson, he's a solid defenseman that'll always get you some hits and blocks. If you're just looking for a few points at the end of a week, Adam Larsson's usually a good bet.
Yeah, and he's always a guy you could throw at the bottom of your bench and be dependable.
Yeah, and then definitely you need to pick up Mason Marchment. We've mentioned him a couple weeks ago, and then he actually didn't play a game last week, so I'm going to bring him back up. This guy is coming out of nowhere, looking very good. You need to pick him up. He just had a hat trick the other day. Very good looking young player. I'd be getting him in my lineups right now.
Okay, for sure.
And then we've heard Jake mentioning over this episode Mike Smith. If he's available, I definitely think you should consider adding him. He's going to get you wins on a pretty good team. He might. He is over 40 years old, so there might be some bad nights in there. But like most of the time, he's going to put up pretty good numbers for a pretty dang good team too. So I would definitely be interested in getting Mike Smith on my team. So
yeah, if he's available, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of all my guys that I was looking at. Anybody else you want to add, Jake?
I just wanted to run some guys by you. I don't have a goalie because I think we've gone over all the goalies. Like Jake Ottinger should be on this list, and in the ESPN he's only 30% owned.
Yeah.
So I would add him, but other than that, these players, these forwards, Ryan Pollock, I saw he was dropped, but he's like a 60% owned player. Is there something there, or what do you think?
He's just historically not really much of a scoring guy, but he's a guy that can get you like peripheral stuff. Like he does get you shots on goal. He will get you hits and blocks and things, but I mean, he's not like a premier defenseman, but he's like a pretty good defensive guy that'll get you like Adam Larson things, or he'll get you some hits and blocks and stuff. So not a terrible, and occasionally he can put up some points, but like the Islanders just aren't a great scoring team in general. So
yeah, but it's a 2.8 average. He's finally healthy, is what they're saying, and he should be a starting D-man.
Yeah.
So I guess deep leagues, like a 14-team league, maybe.
Yep. Yeah.
And then
definitely can be considered.
Yeah, Noah Hannafin. I saw people are grabbing him, and I wanted to ask you about him.
Yeah, this is a guy that I would be more interested in over Pollock because I think Hannafin has more of a chance to put up some points. He's playing on a power play right now. Him and Rasmus Anderson are actually playing together. They're the top pairing, and they're both on the top power play.
Okay.
Hannafin was getting a lot of assists last week, scoring really good. This week, not as much, but he's still getting really good ice time. He's a guy that if you really need some D, I would definitely consider picking him up over Pollock because I think there might be some more offense there.
Yeah, more upside.
Yeah, he's a younger guy.
Both got 2.8 in ESPN.
Yeah, so I would put my more money on Hannafin having a better second half here if he stays on that pairing.
Okay. And then this guy's just like probably a deep league move, but I see people grabbing him, and since a coaching change, he's been doing good. Cole Caulfield.
Yeah, I was looking at him this week.
What are your thoughts on him?
I liked him going into this season a lot because he had a breakout. They brought him up last year, right after the trade deadline. They just brought him up to finish the season, and he carried the team they made it to the Stanley Cup final last year with Cole Caulfield kind of looking great. Yeah. And then everybody's thinking he's going to have his breakout year this year then starting the year, and he just struggled, didn't do anything. But now he's back with the big squad and starting to score some points here, and he just got 21 minutes the other night against a good St. Louis team and scored 2 goals. I'd definitely be keeping my eye on Cole Caulfield for sure. Because we know from last year that when he gets hot, he can can put up a ton of points in a short amount of time.
The coach's objective is unlocking the rookie's potential, it says. So I think that's all they care about. Are they out of the playoffs?
Yeah, they're out of the playoffs. They're one of the worst teams in the league.
They're just going to play all their young guys, right? So he's it's 4 goals in his past 5 games or something.
Yep. Yeah.
4 goals in his past 4 games.
4 goals in 4 games since they brought him back.
And his minutes are going up.
Yeah, they've gone up gone up almost every game. I think he might be on a power play now.
Quick on the trigger, right?
Yeah, I would definitely. I have this guy in your watch list, and if he scores a couple more times, I'd be picking him up for sure.
Yeah, one more good game.
Yeah,
you might want to grab because otherwise somebody else will.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
Yep.
It's if you're in a competitive league, it's slim pickings, and I don't know. That's why we're giving you all these deep, low percent owned names.
Right. So yeah, that's for me. Let's scoop them up. We'll just wrap things up here to finish up the episode with schedule real quick. Just run over the schedule. This week is a pretty heavy week. There's not a lot of light days, so really, really you can be adding guys really for any game because I think the lightest day looks like it's actually tomorrow, Monday. We only have 5 games going on. But other than that, it's a pretty heavy week. So actually a really good week for the schedule. So
you know,
not too much to really mention about like picking up on like a light day for like a streamer or something.
Any goalies have like 5 games next week or something, or like a goal, like a team that uses the goalie all the time instead of splitting. You know, maybe you could get.
Yeah, doesn't look like there's anything like that this week. So just kind of a normal ho-hum week here.
For sure.
So yeah, with that, everyone, thank you for listening, and we're glad to be back doing this podcast. And we just needed a week break to refresh, but we're glad to be back for you. And you know, while you're listening, go head over and follow us on all our social media.
Mm-hmm.
We got Facebook, facebook.com/Garden of Sports Podcast. We have Instagram, instagram.com/Garden of Sports. And we have Twitter, twitter.com/GOSPod 2021. So, yeah, go follow us, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much.
Well, yeah, thank you, everyone.